Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Del Mar. Happy Friday. A little overcast today, a little bit muggy, but still a beautiful day. Great day to be out here at Del Mar. No need to adjust your dials. I lost a bet yesterday. Terrible picks by me. Redemption arc today, but didn't get to dress myself. So if your screen's a little bit fuzzy, that's the reason why. With my friend here, Ryan Anderson, we're coming strong today. Lots of winners.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's happy hour here till 5 o'clock. So.
Oh, man. I quit drinking, but maybe I'll start
I'm
up
on the
again.
clock,
We'll
so
see.
I'm not drinking either.
See how the early pick 5 goes, and we'll make that decision later in the day. All right, let's jump right in here. We got an 8-race card headlined by Calbreds a little bit later in the day. They'll be in the graduation stakes. That's race number 7, $100,000 up for grabs in that one. Let's start off in the first, however, $40,000 claimers going 1 mile on the main course. Who'd you come up with?
Yeah, I saw this race 1-2. I thought the one Ghazali deserved a really strong look from me, currently 3-1. I'm going to toss the last. That was just a bit of a clunker. This runner hasn't been the most consistent, has kind of turned in some bad efforts, but when he runs his good runs, he just kept company with Pony Express last time out. Before that, horses Brazenly and Momad, both of whom would be very heavy favorites in here. So I thought some class relief that's much needed. So I took the Ghazali on top, and Del Mar Jerry stretching back out, going turf to dirt, I thought deserved a look with Fresu aboard.
All right, I went in a different direction. I do think this race is wide open. Normally I handicap with negative information. I try to eliminate horses based on what I find that maybe, and they're not in their corner. Father Delay for me is a horse that I'm going to be playing today based on positive information. This horse has kind of had a spotty career, a couple races here, a couple races there, a lot of breaks in between. We get 5 races in a row here for this one. I think that Bob Hess has figured this runner out. He's in good form. 2 back, very strong race. Navajo Warrior came back to win that race. Validated the win with a 95 Beyer speed figure. Not a big Beyer speed figure guy, but I do use them to kind of give a barometer on the races overall. So big figure out of that one, next time out winner. And then Clamp It and Touchdown Brown, also next out winners in a $32,000 claiming race respectively, and a non-winner 1 state bred for Touchdown Brown. This horse doesn't need the lead. He showed very nice speed last time, which I think is a positive. I like to see those horses moving forward, showing more speed. I think will be forwardly placed no matter what, and there's a few in here that do need the lead. And one of those being your horse, Del Mar Jerry, who I think should need the lead. 3 for 5 on dirt, but I'm not sure he gets the lead today. So we'll see how that pans out. So we've got the inside 3 covered. We'll leave the outside 3, all Calbreds, to the rest. Race number 2, second half of the daily double. We're on 5 furlongs on turf. 3-year-old fillies.
Yeah, I liked a bit of a price here, going 5 furlongs on the grass. The number 8 Tupelo, a steady series of 5 furlong works for Michael McCarthy. Kazushi Kimura is aboard. I thought this one deserved a look and could certainly move up and find herself in the winner's circle, or find herself in the winner's circle. And then number 5 Heads and Beds might be a little too short at the 5 furlong distance, but I thought this one is talented and could get another win for the Phil D'Amato barn with Antonio Fresu up.
It's funny. I went back and watched this replay on Heads and Beds. I actually think the cutback's going to serve this one very well. Lost a couple lengths at the start, got knocked around a little bit, and then recovered really quickly. Was into the bit. I thought could have gone much faster if she wanted. Didn't need to. I thought when she finished, she really looked like she was going to erupt. She was in hand and circling, and then just kind of flattened it a little bit. So I actually think 5 furlongs is going to hit her right between the eyes. My top pick was going to be number 1, Blame Eve. Love Blames on grass. Leonard Powell, Diego Herrera, who won 2 yesterday, going to take the hot hand drawn inside with that one. Love this work pattern as well. 46-3 from the gate, followed up by a nice slow one. 102 flat on the main track, 32 out of 42 that day. So nice slow one. I love those. I love that work pattern. Fast, slow, with the gate work in there. So no speed in here as well. 5 furlongs on turf, you want to see speed. I really see none to speak of. So if Diego can pop the gate, he's a very good speed jockey. Make the lead and protect that rail. I think this one stands to upset in race number 2. All right, headed out to race number 3. This will be the first leg of the pick 6. No carryover that I'm aware of. We're going 6 furlongs on the main track. Non-winners 3 lifetime, 25 claimers.
Yeah, we're just speaking about speed and how it's important. And I think the number 5 Miracle Ball is my top pick because certainly looks like the lone speed in this spot. Coming off 2 straight wins, in good form for the Steve Sherman barn. Kazushi Kimura aboard once again. This will be probably a single for me to start off the pick 6.
All right. We're going to have a side bet. I lost the clothing today. I didn't get to pick my own jacket, but I think Miracle Ball is going to struggle, and here's the reason why. So I'm a big time form U.S. guy, pace figures. This one has that kind of upside-down race, which you don't see a whole lot on dirt. You see it a lot on turf, where there's big fluctuations in pace and flow. I thought Miracle Ball got a good trip last time off of a layoff as a potential balance candidate, and I actually think that She's Just Fluffy could be just as fast, maybe even a little faster. So we'll see how it plays out from a pace standpoint. I did land on number 1, Big Pop, for Mark Glatt and Abel Lescano. Not a big fan of the post, but I think this one gets a notable drop in class. I think we'll be fresh. Hopefully we'll work out a trip. We've only got 6 runners in here. A couple of them have no speed, and a couple of them I think do. So I think could or should be able to get off of the rail. And then I moved to the far outside in Moochie Girl for Kent Squeezy and Tyler Bays. Just a logical ship and win candidate, drawn outside, gets a little bit of class relief. Again, we talked about that huge upside down race out of Moochie Girl's last race at Ellis Park, where they just crawled in front of her. No chance, draw a line through that race. She was only 4-1 that day as well.
We agree a bit on the 1 Big Pop. I picked that one in second. I think it was just way overmatched last time. I think this is some needed class relief.
Well, we're still going to have a side bet on the top pick. Maybe a jacket on Sunday for you versus we'll maybe flip-flop clothing.
I like it.
All right, let's do it. All right, race number 4, first leg of the late pick 5. We got Calbreds going 5/8 on the turf course.
Yeah, I ended up going 4-5 in here. Number 4, Throw the First Punch. Sire, Sir Prancelot's obviously very precocious with his first-time starters. And the dam has 5 winners from 6 total starters to hit the racetrack. So I thought this one for Frey-Sue and Doug O'Neill certainly deserves a look. And then number 5, He's a Knockout. Some really sharp morning works for Carla Gaines. Juan Hernandez is aboard, so one of the top riders here in the colony. So I thought these two certainly deserve the top looks for me. So 4-5.
I'm with you on the 4. Throw the First Punch. Love the Sir Prancelots just like you do. That was going to be my top pick. I moved to the outside in Kiki Ride for Craig Lewis and Kazuchi Kimura. I feel like Craig Lewis likes to wait, but maybe not so much at Del Mar. I think he pops a little bit more at Del Mar. It's just this boutique meet. Everyone wants to be in the winner's circle at Del Mar, so I think his statistics go up a little bit first time out during this meet. Don't have the data to prove it. That's just speculation. He did have a winner earlier in the meet, first time out. But in terms of pedigree, the dam she had 27 starts, 15 of those first or second, 13 starts overall on grass, 4 wins, 5 place finishes to add to her resume. So Kiki Ride was going to be my second pick. 4-7 for me in the 4th. This is a tough race here. We've got a field of 9 straight maidens, Calbred variety, 2 years old. How'd you make out in the 5th, Ryan?
Yeah, tough race for sure, but I ended up on the number 4, Tommy Norris. Third start and first in the barn of Red Hot Labrado Baraccio. Antonio Frey-Sue is aboard, so I like to see that he attracts a top rider in here. I think he could step up. I like the work since coming over into this barn. He has a work over the track. So I'm going to take Tommy Norris on top, and then I thought the 1 Moonshiner with some speed from the inside and for the Van Belvoir barn with Kazushi Kimura. I think he can get him out of there in a hurry and see how far he can take him.
Tommy Morris, I agree with you. I think is eligible. Actually run against winners the last 2 times over there at Turf Paradise and is fast. You tend to get a lot of fast runners over there going 4.5 and 5 furlongs. So I think has a chance to make the lead. I did see a lot of speed in here. I actually spread in this race. I'm coming up with some prices here. So in no particular order, 5, 7, 2, and 9. We've got several runners that ran on July 19th that day. So if you open up your PPs, you'll see 4 of those. Take that back. 5 of those coming out of that day. I think that the July 19th race is a little bit stronger. That's the race where Moonshiner is coming out of. Mm-hmm. They went a little bit slower to the half that day, about 2 lengths slower, and they finished almost in identical times. So I think the finishing times were a little bit better in that race. I think it's a little stronger race, and that is one of the reasons why I landed on Max Chow, who's an opener. And this horse actually regularly stands in Kentucky, so I think has a pedigree edge. Second time out last time, just an absolutely miserable trip. Was ridden with caution, kind of got knocked around early, lost all kinds of steam, and then got passed going into the far turn, followed the runner that passed him, and just kind of flattened a little bit. So that track favored inside speed. I think there's a lot of upside with Max Chow. as is there with my second choice, Forever Ben, who also had a miserable trip that same day. Stumbled, got turned sideways, hit in the hindquarters, lost all kind of speed, ran against the bias. So some of these comments you see in the PPs, they're absolutely accurate. Both of those have upside. 2 and 9, sprinkle a little bit on those. Paula Capestro yesterday almost scored with Rich Reward. She's got the 2, who I think is legit. Maybe we score at a big number with number 2, Another Bullet. All right, headed into race number 6. Kicks off the late pick 3, going a mile on the turf course for maiden $50,000 claimers.
Yeah, this was the big spread race for me. I'm against the number 5, Crazy Cavalier. I think this is one of those kind of herd animals that doesn't like to win races. Second and thirds are just piling up too much for my liking. I'm actually going to go with a bit of a price. I like the 1, Poor Connection on top. 20 to 1 on the morning line. Has had some really sharp work since this one was gelded in the middle of June. The dam was primarily a turf router. He hasn't had the chance to do that quite yet. This is kind of that old kitchen sink angle for Michael McCarthy, but surface switch, you're going maiden special weight to maiden claiming. That's a solid 23% from that barn, and then again the first time gelding. So I'm hoping all that combined kind of wakes this one up. Second off the bench now.
And fast early last time. Timeform had this race as pretty honest in the early stages. Was fractious before that race. I kind of equate it to like if you're in a fight and you get kind of nervous and you kind of just burn everything and you just all of a sudden you hit the wall. So that I would just completely ignore that running line. That's a good dig for Poor Connection. I went a different direction. I'm going to land on number 8, Unrivaled Hero, for Mark Glatt. Umberto Rispoli rides. Cuban Confusion last time, coming at just a very strong race. This horse almost beat winners last time. The second place finisher came back and just absolutely jogged going wire to wire. I think it's a strong race. Also gets class relief, just like Poor Connection. And then I moved inward. Irish Whiskey, I think, has an outside chance. The Dam Saucy Symphony broke her maiden on turf. Actually, all of her wins were on turf. She had 3 wins lifetime. I think we got some pedigree there to like the green stuff. They were all sprinting, mind you, and this is routing, but I think Irish Whiskey stands a chance to just run off and hide. There's no speed in here that I can find. So maybe a little bit of cheap speed, but this one was tagged for $35,000 out in Arkansas in April. Will be in front. So if you're looking for a cheap thrill at a big number, Irish Whiskey should be it because he'll absolutely be in front in that race. All right, race number 7. This is the stakes race of the day, the graduation, $100,000 up for grabs. We've got a field of 5, scratch number 2, Desert Dog out of this one.
Yeah, I tried to be creative, but Hero or Zero drew so well towards the outside. I think this one's just going to sit another nice trip and probably just take over. Strongest speed figures in the field. I went with the 5 underneath. I thought maybe just with Fianello having some time off since that debut or since that last win, maybe he's just grown up a little bit. So I want to give that one a bit of a chance underneath. But for me, it's Hero or Zero is a very strong lean in all my horizontal bets today.
I think this one's going to win. I'm with you. Nothing clever to add. I will add one thing. Most of these figures, when they run on dirt, they tend to descend later, right? They run fast early, they slow down. This race was actually upside down on dirt. They ran faster late. And the pace figures early are actually the fastest in this race. Yeah. It's hard to get around for me. A horse that you think is fastest and finishes the best. Mad scramble up front. We'll see what happens. So far, every horse in this race has scored basically going wire to wire. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I think that's another advantage for Hero or Zero. Drawn outside. We'll be able to make some options if things don't happen right out of the gate for him.
And he almost was able to rate his speed last time, which I like to see for those 2-year-olds on debut. I know they all went to the lead and they all kind of went wire to wire, as you said, but he showed a little bit of maturity in the sense that he wasn't able to go, all out all the time.
And he gets it just like he had last time. He drew the 10 out of 10 on debut, and he gets 5 out of 5 today. Fianello, talking about that one, your second pick. I actually had that track as a late-running track and did go wire to wire. So for Steve Knapp, I used. So I think that one's got an outside shot, but I'll probably be singling the 6 anyway. All right, headed into the finale. We've got starter allowance types non-winners of 3 lifetime going 1 mile on the turf course. How are we going to finish out the day, Ryan.
Yeah, hoping to finish out with the number 8 Tiara Queen on top. Closed quickly last time out, going the route of ground on turf. Closed in 23.19, and those turf races, you mentioned races being run upside down. That's typically how you see those turf races unfold. Is it all matters how fast you go coming home. This one came home the quickest of the bunch, so I'm going to take this one on top. Mirko DeMiro is on board for Paddy Gallagher. He's been excellent so far over the turf course at saving ground, and then I thought Wordplay could set a nice tactical trip for Rispoli and Jeff Mullins. Been very consistent since switching over to the Jeff Mullins barn, and has, again, very tactical, has a good kick home as well. So I want 8-4 in here.
I'm actually a little bit of a fade with Tiara Queen, but I'm not going to knock anybody at 8-1. So I did go in a different direction. I didn't know what to make of Wordplay. Was 0 for 10 going into that grass race and just ran off and hid. They went slow that day, ran over the front runners, and just jogged. So was 1 to 20 that day. I didn't look back to see who was in that race, but I'm guessing it was a little bit soft. I'm going to land on number 2, Princess Snow for James Cassidy. I think this one wants a target. That's my take with Princess Snow. 5-horse field last time. Sometimes you get these short fields. You get these riders, they try and get clever and maybe do something. You know, being in front is an advantage in a 5-horse field. I think that's kind of what happened to Princess Snow last time. I think Mike Smith's going to be a little bit more patient, hopefully sit somewhere down near the pocket. I think Mike and Juan Hernandez down inside are going to be fighting for that pocket. I know that's what I would do. I'm not a jockey, obviously. 80 pounds over, I don't think I can shed that quick enough. But I do think Princess Snow has a big swing. That race 2 back is huge. Scored at 25-1. Big time form pace figures, big finishing figures. I think that one's going to score at 4-1. And then I move to the 6, Cameron Slow for Neil Drysdale. I think this one's interesting. Was laid off last time, hadn't been seen for about 6 months. I mean, 11 furlongs, that looks like an absolute prep race to me. Freysu rides back, cutting back in distance. I do think there's the potential that something could heat up front, and 10-1 for Freysu is just a beautiful thing when you're on the turf course.
I gave that one a look, too. Yeah,
okay,
I thought
good.
Cameron Slow definitely deserved a shot in this race.
All right, so maybe we partner up in the
maybe.
pick 5 and throw in the 6. All right, best of luck, everybody. We got 40 minutes to post, looking about 25 before they come to the paddock in race number 1.